Hello, welcome back to Romeo and Juliet, Act 2, Scene 2. This act is the bomb, right? This is the act where Romeo and Juliet profess their love for each other. This is the act that everybody thinks about when they say Romeo and Juliet. Remember when I asked you, have you heard of Romeo and Juliet? You're all like, yes, I have. And I said, tell me a line from Romeo and Juliet. And just about everybody says, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? This scene right here. This is it. All right. Quick plot rundown of this scene. We have Romeo's soliloquy. I'll talk about that. I'll break it down in a bit. We have Juliet's soliloquy. I'll talk about that. I'll break it down. Remember, a soliloquy is when an actor is on stage talking his or her thoughts out loud. No one else hears it, just the audience. Shakespeare takes this idea of the soliloquy and messes with it. Okay, we'll talk about those in a bit. We have the greeting and introduction of Romeo and Juliet by themselves without the rest of the party around. It's just Romeo, it's just Juliet. No adults, no nurse to pop in and interfere, although she tries at the end of the scene. So this is considered one of the most beautiful romantic scenes in literature. I don't know if it's true, but it's up there. Okay. So I will want you to reread this a couple of times just so you can get in touch with the language they're using. They will exchange their love for each other. They will exchange their vows. And it's really important that they do that. And then they're going to say goodbye and come up with a plan. And this plan is crazy important. So let's look at each one of these. Romeo's soliloquy, right? He just ditched Mercutio and Benvolio, and he climbed over the walls, and he's looking for Juliet, and he's walking around. He's like, wow, where's Juliet? And then bam, he looks up, and he sees her in her window, right? There she is up there. This is the balcony scene. She is up there in her balcony, and he is down below in the orchard, and he says, whoa, it's the east, and Juliet is the sun. This comparison Shakespeare does throughout the whole play. Light is beauty, okay? And you can't get any more light than the sun. We have imagery of the moon. Shakespeare has Romeo out here at night. No one can see them. They're lit by the moonlight. And Juliet is brighter than the moon. She is more beautiful than the beautiful moon, okay? Therefore, Juliet equals love. And Romeo kind of says that, right? That he loves her and wishes that she knew. And he compares her to the stars, right? We see the stars in her cheeks and her eyes. And just everything deals with light. And then she's up in the heavens and she's an angel. She's up there in the heaven. She's with the clouds. And so Romeo, as you can see in his soliloquy, is struck by Juliet. He's in love. And her beauty is compared to things like heaven and light and things that are beautiful. It's not just that she has a beautiful body or beautiful hair. It's more than that. In a way, her physical body transcends her body, and she's more angelic or more heavenly than all of Romeo's previous flings and relationships. And then she's up there like she's going to talk. He's like, wow, I should listen to her. And at one point, he sees her leaning with her hand in her cheek. And he's like, wow, I wish I was a glove on that hand so he could touch her cheek. Interesting or creepy, you decide. Then Juliet starts talking, right? And the first thing she says, oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? We've all heard this, okay? It's part of the popular culture, and a lot of people really don't understand what it means. She's talking about Romeo. Wherefore art thou Romeo means why. Why are you Romeo? Why are you a Montague is what she's asking here. She's in love with him, right? But he's the enemy. Why does he have to be this enemy? And as she's talking, Romeo's down there listening, looking up at her, not saying a thing. What would you do in that situation? Would you listen? Would you run away? Would you say, hey, quiet down, I can hear you? Would you do any of this? Okay. So she's up there. She loves Romeo, and she's questioning why he has to be a Montague. Why does he have to be an enemy? And she just is like, wow, Romeo, just disown your name. Don't be a Montague anymore. And you know what? If you do that, you can have me. I'll be yours. Or if you don't disown your family, I'll disown my family, and I won't be a Capulet anymore. And then we can be together. And she has that beautiful line about what is in a name. Let me find that here. You know, what's a Romeo? It's the name of your enemy. And she goes through what is a name. This is a crazy important question. What is a name? Remember that first day of class. I asked you to write a note to me, and I said, describe yourself. Tell me who you are. And 95% of the time, my name is how we started. Everything is in that name, right? So what is in a name? Wow. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's a Montague? It's not hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. It's kind of risque. So that's kind of interesting. What is in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Wow, we've heard that line before. By any other word, this would smell as sweet. You know, look at the word rose. No matter what language you use, it doesn't change the way the rose smells. What you call it doesn't change the nature of it. That's a big statement right there. And at the end of her little soliloquy here, she says, throw away your name and take me. What's interesting is this is known as Juliet's soliloquy. But a soliloquy, we know, is not heard by anybody else. Yet Shakespeare takes that rule, breaks it, and has Romeo down there listening. And when he hears her say that, he's like, all right, I'm in. Okay. So he's like, here I am. And she's like, whoa, who are you? And he's like, I don't know. I just threw away my name. I can't tell you by a name who I am. But she recognizes his voice, right? They haven't even said, 100 words, according to her, together. And yet she recognizes his voice. She's like, how'd you get here? It's like, oh, Cupid lent me his wings and I flew over the wall. How'd you get here, right? Love is blind and I just got here. He's led by that love. So, this is really romantic stuff. They have their introductions. The guards will kill you if they see you. He's not afraid of the guards. So he's there to see Juliet, and I don't know if she's happy to see him or not. She just spilled her guts out, and he heard it all. Okay, so that's kind of embarrassing a little bit, and she mentions that. So they talk, and they have their exchange of vows. They profess their love for each other. Juliet confesses that she was speaking true. Okay, she could have said, oh, I was just pretending. But she didn't. You heard me say what I meant. And she's embarrassed from this. And she does say, you know what? I'm not like other girls. I will be faithful to you. I'm a good catch. And Romeo goes to profess his love, right? By yonder moon. And she's like, no, don't swear by that. She wants his love to be permanent. The moon is not permanent, right? The moon has these 28 different cycles it goes through. And we have every day it's a little bit different. No, she doesn't want his love to change like the moon changes. So don't swear by that. Don't swear by anything. And she starts backing down a bit. And she says that this is too quick. Is it? How quick is too quick? We'll talk about that later. But she says, I like the lightning analogy. It's like lightning, again with the light. And you won't find anything brighter than lightning, right? A lot of times when someone gets a lightning bolt right near them, they can't see. because it's so doggone bright. So this is bright, like their love. And as soon as you say, wow, it's bright, the lightning's gone. So she's afraid that if we are falling in love this quick, it's just going to burn out and it'll be done. We're going to hear this again later. She says, let our love be like a flower, just a little itty bitty bud, right? And then next time, it'll be blooming even more. So we'll see how that goes. Continuing on with this exchange of love, Romeo at one point says that, she says, go ahead and leave. We will see again later. And he says, oh, will thou leave me so unsatisfied? Romeo's not happy to say goodbye now. And she's like, what satisfaction canst thou have tonight? We know Romeo's a womanizer. He wanted to sleep with Rosalind. Okay? So here, Romeo's not satisfied. And Juliet just asks him, what do you want? And I almost expect Romeo to say, well, I want to sleep with you. But no, he doesn't say that. So Juliet is different than all of his other girls. Okay? Juliet is different. All he wants is to exchange vows of love, as he puts it. The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine. I want to hear you say you love me, and I'll say I love you, and that's it. And now when we get to this point, the nurse starts interrupting again, like she did in the last scene. But this time, the nurse doesn't know Juliet is talking to someone. So Juliet's getting ready to go in, and she tells Romeo, wait. Okay? She runs in, and Romeo's like, holy cow, this has got to be a dream, right? It's night, and this is just what I want. It's got to be a dream. She comes back, and she talks to Romeo, and now we have them saying goodbye and coming up with this plan. And it's Juliet's idea to get married. That's the plan, right? She says, if you love me and you want to get married, let me know. Tell me by a messenger. I will send you a messenger tomorrow. And by that messenger, tell me where and when we're going to get married. And then she says, if you don't love me, leave me alone, right? Don't lead me on. Just end it right now if you don't want to get married. And she'll go off and sulk. And she says a goodbye. He starts walking away. She's like, come back. He comes back. We need to go. He goes, come by. 3 times. Go away. Nope, come back. It's kind of an interesting thing she does to him. And we have that bird analogy. I wish you were a little bird, right, on a string, and she could pull that string back and have him in his hand. A little bird, fly away. Oh, pull you back again. It's what she does in this scene, right? Go away. He goes to leave. He comes back. So we have that little bird analogy, which is appropriate, right? He is a little bird in her hand. She has him wrapped around his little finger, so to speak. And then leave. So that's the plan. She's going to send a messenger to Romeo at 9 o'clock in the morning. And that messenger will find out if Romeo wants to get married. If he does, where will it be? When will it be? Here's some questions. Is Juliet too forward? Is it okay to speak your mind like this? What do you think about Romeo and Juliet? Should they get married? They crazy love each other, right? We see that in how they act toward one another and how they've changed from how they interact with others. So we see their love. Should they get married? I'd like to hear why you think they should or why you think they shouldn't. Or is this scene all messed up? What's wrong with this scene? Right? How would you do things if you were in their place? Right? If you were Romeo, would you keep listening to Juliet? Would you ever say anything? If you were Juliet, would you keep talking to Romeo, or would you deny it all and run away? You know, Romeo is set in that interesting situation that we all dream of. We want to know someone's deepest thoughts about ourselves. And yet we can never be sure if they really mean it. And here Romeo got that gift, and he sees what she really means. Okay. Take today and tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday, take 2 days on this scene. Okay. It's a big one. And read through this again. Have a great day.